Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. The purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel or our website. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a model that launched in 2008. This is the richly complicated Panerai Luminor 1950 10 Days GMT Ceramica PAM00335. In the Luminor 1950 case, this is all black ceramic with a titanium case back 44 millimeters in diameter by a beefy 18.7 millimeters thick, largely due to that plexi-style sapphire. Lug-to-lug, the watch measures 54.8 millimeters with a 24 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on the wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, and the first thing I note is that the watch weighs less than I expect. That's sort of the nature of ceramic. As this watch is titanium, ceramic, and sapphire, it winds up weighing a lot less than you'd expect for a big, burly 44 millimeter sports watch. So you can see the cuff shot, well, it's comically thick. It will not fit underneath the sleeve. However, this watch is big, bold, and stark. It's not designed to disappear underneath the cuff. Here's the overhead shot. And then here's the down the barrel shot, where it fits, but just. I would recommend wrists no smaller than 15 centimeters circumference, preferably 16 like mine. So if you like this look and your wrist is the size of mine, you're gonna wear the watch well. But make sure you like the big and bold look, because this watch is that to the nth degree. Taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, Panerai straps exist to be swapped, but what comes factory here is calfskin black with a monotone stitch, a folded edge. It's calfskin on the bottom too. And you can see that the watch uses conventional screws and bars, which is not universal to these ceramic case Panerai watches, so I like to see that here. The screw and bar provides absolute security that a spring bar wouldn't, and since I know a lot of you already have strap tools at home if you're Paneristi, you're going to be able to quickly get to swapping straps using your screwdrivers. It's also nice because of the hardness of the ceramic that if you do accidentally leave a deposit on the lug from the screwdriver, generally it'll wipe right off with an eraser because the lug will aggress against the metal and not the other way around. And that's really the advantage of ceramic. It is super hard. Among conventional watchmaking materials, it's second only to sapphire. So the watch is designed to resist scratches. Also, because it mostly shakes off scratches, and because it defies the refinisher's wheel, you always know that when you're getting a ceramic case, it hasn't been refinished. And for me, that's always a huge question about the quality of a pre-owned watch. Now you have the crown guard, the device protecting the crown as it's known, developed in the late 40s and implemented in the 1950s on the Panerai 6152 combat watches. You know what watch that is. Just looking at the crown guard, you know what watch that is. Iconic design, yes, but also practical. You get more protection than a standard crown guard. It's very tough to jump in the water with that crown open, as the lever is easy to spot and very apparent, and it immediately unlocks the watch, which has 100-meter water resistance. So as soon as I lift the crown lever, I can set the watch, I can wind the watch, and you'll note that there is a second time zone, fully loomed in 12-hour format. It uses an indicator that's coaxial with the seconds over at 9 o'clock to let you know whether you're looking, for example, I'll show you how this works, at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. You can see that the index is on the AM side, so you're looking at 2 a.m. Now, because the watch does feature a relatively stubby second time zone hand, you can cover it up and clean up the dial when you don't want it. You'll also note, take a quick look over at the coaxial seconds hand, that when you put the watch in stop seconds mode, it actually zeroes out the seconds hand, so it sets straight to the index. You can set the watch precisely against a reference time. There is a date. There's also a dog fang floating power reserve, and the watch, yes, lives up to its name. 10 days of automatic winding power reserve. Now, if you take a quick look, you can also see this is the sandwich dial, matte black, sandwich describing a stencil with cutouts for the numerals and indices over a fully loomed disc. And that creates a wonderful depth at night and brilliant light. You're going to see that the watch is Luminor in name and Luminor in fact. Turning the timepiece over, you can see part of the first generation of Panerai in-house calibers from the 2000s. This is the P2003, and if you're wondering how it gets to be so gray, it's because there is a smoked sapphire over it. Now, the watch is automatic winding with 3 mainspring barrels. It features 10 days of power reserve, and it also features a number of high-tech features, from the full balance bridge for shock resistance to a free sprung balance for the same purpose. It has the zero reset second system, pivots on 25 joules, and it was made in-house at the Panerai manufacturer in Neuchâtel. These first-generation Panerai movements were all over-engineered and arguably too capable for what the Panerai client at the time was asking for. That's why they were shockingly expensive when new. You're the beneficiary of that, as the second or third owner. Now, what I also like about this watch is that it uses bidirectional winding with ceramic rotor bearings. Coming off generations of Panerai watches that had unidirectional winding 7750 based systems, Panerai decided that it wanted its in-house calibers to have bidirectional winding, so you wouldn't have the unidirectional rotor wobble to evoke those earlier watches. So you get a very deluxe movement, beaten away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, shock resistant, long-legged, complicated, all of that, and bespoke for Panerai. It's a very special movement. Now, this watch was made in 2008, as you can see, this watch was made in 2010, that's M, but the model itself was made between 2008 and 2013, and it is one of the most roundly capable Panerai watches you can buy. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. The Panerai PAM00335, note that all the hands, including the power reserve indicator, are lumed.